Jayden Daniels going number 2. We can go around the room. I'll say I like it, don't love it, because I was in favor of them drafting Drake May over Jayden Daniels. The thing that scares me is what probably scares everybody. It just, because of the build, it just reminds you of RG3, and I know you have to separate it all, and it's supposed to be different, but that does come into your mind, and I'm just worried that it'll get hurt. I don't know, based on like those Zachary Kruger stats, the sack percentage, whatever the exact title of that.
Sack to pressure
percentage, and the go routes. There's just a couple of red flags there statistically that worry me, and I do think, you brought up the Pro Football Focus grade yesterday, EB. I do think that Drake May's big-time throws, there's a greater percentage of them than from Jayden Daniels. Now, a lot of people, including Adam Peters, we played the clip, say he was the best deep ball thrower. Now, he also had the best deep ball receivers. Drake, when I watched the film, it just jumps out at you how great he is. Now, who knows? Maybe he's not going to develop. People say he needs time. So I like it, don't love it.
I love it. They potentially got the most talented quarterback in what appears to be a pretty loaded quarterback draft class. And this team hasn't had a guy throw for 30 touchdowns since Sonny Jurgensen. So they need a shot in the arm. They need a face of the franchise. And they got it with Jayden Daniels. And hopefully he stays upright and healthy, and he accounts for 30-plus touchdowns.
The other thing that worries me, and it shouldn't come into play. He was probably better, but Justin Fields was a great college player. Oh, and the whole running thing, it was just the innocent thing when he said, I want to be the best running quarterback, better than Michael Vick, whatever. I just felt like he should have said, I want to be the best quarterback. And I just worry that he's a little focused on running too much. And Justin Fields was a great fantasy player. Like, if he ends up being like Justin Fields, that's going to be a huge disappointment.
Yeah, but apparently he's the opposite of that. That he may have said that, but I think you're interpreting it the wrong way. I think he's just saying, I want to be the best running quarterback, because that's what quarterbacks are these days. He said he wants to develop his passing. He knows he can run. He was really focused, and that's why he's had 2 quarterback coaches. He's had a quarterback coach since he was 10 years old. He wants to be great at throwing the football.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, like I said, I like it. I think he's an unbelievable talent, an unbelievable season last year.
And also,
it just worries me, tainted by RG3 and Justin Fields, a little worried, nervous maybe that's what he might become.
It's not an exact science where guys get picked, obviously, but Daniels went 2 overall. Fields was not picked 2 overall. Like he was very high, though. Yeah, but he was like down in 10, 12 range.
Bears traded up to.
Like there's a big talent gap between who gets picked 2 and who gets picked 12 most of the time.
True, but if Fields was coming out this year, he might go, based on the year he had in his last year at Ohio State. All right, let's go to calls.
Well, what is your take? Because you were a May guy.
I'm a May guy. I never disliked Daniels. I mean, I hope that he works out, because I'm very pro Dan Quinn. I'm pro Adam Peters. So I'm hoping it all works out. I just thought May was the better quarterback and the better future play. But I think Daniels, I'm hoping he works out.
What
he clearly has the talent, both passing and running.
He makes us instantly competitive, and he makes us instantly exciting. I think he was the most explosive player in a draft, and whether he hits or not, who knows? I think he's in a good position. They're going to surround him with everybody. Adam said it yesterday. So I actually love it, and I think Sundays are going to be exciting again. I've actually, I did a podcast yesterday with some of the guys, and I actually forgot we only won 4 games last year. Like, I just blocked it out.
That's how bad it was, yeah.
We lost like 8 straight.
Well, there's a reason the Commanders are picking number 2. Because they were terrible.
Yeah.
The roster was disintegrated under Ron. Now they're starting to build it back up.
All right, let's go. This seems like a lot of people are hating, though. A lot of people are nervous. Let's go to Dan. Dan, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. Just got to throw some cold water on this. I'm sorry. The stats are 25% if he's pressured, he gets sacked. 25% if he's pressured, he takes off running. Highest scramble rate of any first, second-round QB in 10 years. So half the time he's pressured, he's not going to throw. It's dead last in the FBS. He's in the company of Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Malik Willis. I just think this is a historic blunder. This is Heath Schuler. This is Chase Young. And I think we just gave multiple Lombardi trophies to New England. Frankly, I'm depressed and ashamed.
You don't trust Adam Peters and his leadership group at all? when they've spent months.
He clearly doesn't.
months scouting Jayden Daniels.
I think they caved to some of the media pressure, and I think
You
in
really
the
I don't
think that?
think that's
You
the
really
case at
think
all.
that?
yes, I think that
How would you
in
think
the
that?
ashes. I think
These
in
guys'
the ashes,
lives depend on it. You think they care about those sloppy
Sloppy DJs.
DJs and writers?
Right. Yeah.
I
Adam
think they
Peters
got.
does all the work.
Yeah.
You know, he had Drake May #1, and then we hype up Jayden Daniels. He just
You know,
switches
if
the draft for it.
Cakes
He wasn't
influenced
listening to us.
influenced Adam Peters, he should be fired today.
I
Guys,
totally
guys,
agree.
Although we did
I-
influence
he wa-
Ron. I know we did. I know we influenced
Well,
Ron.
he got fired.
Guys,
Yeah.
I think in the ashes of this, we're going to find out there was something with ownership. Thought this guy was the next Lamar, and he's not Lamar. I mean, Lamar averaged 130 yards a game.
Yeah, he's not
rushing.
Lamar. He's a better passer
Daniels
coming in the
averaged
league than
like
Lamar
75.
was.
Well, we'll see,
I
man.
just think Lamar breaks the chart in terms of running, and I think Daniels is good, but no one's
I don't
Lamar.
think
Lamar
think
is-
anybody thinks
Lamar
he's
is
as good a
unicorn.
runner as Lamar. But I do think he's a better passer coming in the league. I'm not going to say he's a better passer than Lamar today, but
I'm
coming
gonna
into the league.
let Adam Peters and his group have 2 or 3 drafts and see how they work out, and then
then
I'll
3
judge
years
him.
down the road,
then I'll
yeah.
start judging. I'm not going to judge him. He's made 1 pick so far, and it's
Yeah.
a huge important
Listen.
pick. There's no doubt.
Okay, but we're asking the listeners if you're excited about it.
Well,
Clearly,
he clearly
not everybody is.
not excited.
I don't know anything about Adam Peters other than what I see, but he sure doesn't strike me as a guy that's hanging on the words of sports radio dorks.
No, I don't
know
think
he's
so.
not.
Cliff Kingsbury, it could be a more boring guy, but I know he doesn't listen to sports
No, they
radio.
could-
Peters, he's kind of boring too.
And I'm sure they're
Some of the
aware.
clips-
I'm sure they're aware of the pressure to sack rate. It is a red flag, but they obviously believe that he can overcome it.
Well, they can fix it. That's what coaches do.
Yeah.
They try and fix it.
Right. They'll make him better.
Zach
They'll make him
Kruger, who we
better
met
than
in
he is.
person at the Roadhouse premiere, he was the one who was sending you those stats and putting them up there. It is a red flag. That was one of Sam Howell's bugaboos, that when there was pressure, he took a lot of sacks in college.
Right, but I think even Lamar was one of those guys who had a high pressure to sack rate in college, and it didn't stick with him. There are outliers. It's not a perfect stat. If it was a perfect stat, everybody would go by it.
Well,
Let's go to Mike in Fairfax. But I like it, too. I think it's an interesting stat for sure. Mike, what's up, bud?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Great show as always, man.
What's up?
Thanks.
Hey, I'm with the guy that was just on. He was really, really smart about the stats and everything. He kind of quoted all that. I was going to try to give a few of those, but he already did. I am very concerned. Excited's not really the word, man. I woke up and I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. I mean, I think you guys have kind of joked about it, but I think I still have post-traumatic stress from RG3 and the pre. So until it
Robert
wins,
wasn't as good. Let's just get that.
No,
Yeah,
you're right.
I don't know.
No,
I don't understand this.
you're
If Jayden gets
absolutely right.
if Jayden gets hurt, it's not like his arm is going to fall off, right? He can still throw the ball.
Yeah.
He's a competent passer.
Yeah,
It's
and-
not. It's not. Yeah, it's not like a running back. The only thing he does is run.
Yeah, I actually think he's a better runner than Robert, and I think he's a better passer than Robert. He's a better player
Yeah.
than Robert Griffin III.
Robert was very dependent on his legs.
Robert
The
might
le-
have had a better arm.
Jaden's legs
For,
are
Probably.
for deep balls, but he wasn't particularly accurate.
No. I'm not going to praise his passing ability overall, which
Yeah, he
you
threw a nice
mentioned
spiral
in
for a
terms
track
of
star.
in terms of processing. He was good. He was good at running a read option. And
Right.
when the linebackers all came up and a guy, Pierre Garçon was wide open, he could hit that guy.
Right.
And he maybe could throw the ball harder than Jayden Daniels.
Right, which is not is that important of a trait.
But look,
yeah,
like with all these guys, we have no idea. He could come in and he could be worse than RG3 was.
No, I'm saying coming into the pros. I don't think.
I
Well, yeah, but we-
think it's similar. They both won the Heisman. They
Robert
both put up
had
great stats.
Robert had very similar statistics passing
Yes.
ball. He did.
I understand, but I think he's a more complete passer than Robert. I think he processes better just by what we've seen, and I think Robert is just a straight line guy as a runner who is probably faster than Jayden, but I think Jaden's got more wiggle.
I don't know.
just
if
the
he's- I don't know
the
if he's
notion
faster.
that Jaden's career is over if he suffers an ACL injury is
I mean,
just it's
guys
weird.
get over ACLs all the time.
And it's not like he's going to stop throwing the ball. He's a very accomplished passer. And everyone just thinks the only thing Jayden can do is
Well,
run.
I know, but I think
It's
what some fans are thinking was in Roberts' last year at Baylor, he was a very accomplished passer, and he won the Heisman because of those numbers. It wasn't because of the rushing numbers. It was a combo, but his passing numbers were very good.
No, I know. It was because he threw a lot of deep balls, though.
Yeah.
He threw a lot of deep balls.
He threw a lot of deep balls, yeah.
I don't
His
think,
completion percentage was also very good.
Yeah, I just don't think he processes the way that
Well,
Jayden
that's because
does.
we were able to see him in the pros
Yes.
decline.
Yes.
So, but if you're just comparing the guys coming out of college, you could see why some fans are
Yeah, I mean, his last
hesitant.
year at Baylor, he completed 72.4% of his passes. He threw for 37 touchdowns with only 6 picks.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Jayden
And
Daniels'
right
numbers.
away, they knew he couldn't see the whole field. They
Right,
knew
they
that.
knew that the Baylor route tree was very limited.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Right
exactly
away.
what they're saying about Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but
no, what they're
apparently
also saying
they're not
is
concerned about it because they took him at number 2.
Same thing they
Yeah.
did with RG3.
Well, they feel like
It's very
In fact-
analogous.
In fact, didn't they trade up to get RG3? Didn't they
Yes,
trade up
they
to
traded
2?
a lot to get up to number
Yeah, that's
2.
what I thought.
I think they were at 6 originally to move up to 2.
Listen, I liked Robert coming out. I thought Robert would have, and I still maintain, unlike some people, that if he didn't get hurt and he ran the same offense, which maybe is incongruent, that he could have been successful for 7 or 8 years.
So you're saying that you think Jaden's processing is the same as RG3's coming out of college?
He doesn't
JP?
think there's any.
Jason?
He doesn't think.
You don't
They
think
don't
there's-
think
I don't know.
there's
I don't-
evidence that it's better.
No. If you're just basing it on the numbers, you can't say that Jaden's passing numbers were so much better because they clearly weren't. They were about equal, and they both won the Heisman.
No,
I'm saying
we're not
he-
talking about the numbers. I'm talking about the processing.
Yeah,
when
yeah. I think
Orlovsky
he-
breaks down the film,
Yeah.
and when Saban breaks down the film,
Yeah.
that's the first thing they said was just how amazing his processing
Right,
is.
like
How
an
he can
elite processor.
how he can move from routes. How he was able to find the open person and cover zero
He's getting
and read the
dinged
blitz
because he's
and read the
getting
blitz.
dinged because he was throwing deep balls to speedsters that were first-round picks. I don't know why that's considered a flaw.
It's not.
It's like it's
not.
being like he's got guys
that's
that are
just
beating
because-
guys by 3 yards. And look, he's not going to have the same
Well, what-
separation in the pros.
Well, what
that
Logan
he did at
Paulson was
LSU.
saying, no, is that it shows that maybe it's just a simple offense. Sure. And,
But like
and-
he's a smart enough kid. Like if you give him a more complicated offense, I don't think he's just all of a sudden going to fall apart.
All I'm
and
saying is the
not be able
RG3
to run it.
comparison at this point, it is apropos, and they are very analogous. He may ultimately be a better processor. We don't know. And at the time when RG3 was drafted, this is revisionist history. Nobody was saying he can't process.
Well, we
at the
didn't know.
time, you
We
were
didn't
jocking.
know.
He can do everything Andrew
right,
Luck
but
can
you didn't
do.
know. But you know who knew? Kyle and Mike. They knew.
I don't think anybody was
They
saying.
knew.
Nobody was saying
I
he
didn't
could do
know. He was.
everything Andrew Luck could do.
Yes,
no,
there were a lot of
I
people
thought he
saying
was
that.
bust proof.
At the
No, I thought he
time-
was bust proof.
At the time, there were a lot of
maybe
people saying that.
A few people were. I don't
No,
think a
no,
lot
I
of people
thought he
were.
was going to be
Andrew
here for
Luck
15
was
years.
clearly a tier or two above Robert Griffin III. Now that's revisionist history. Nobody had them neck and neck.
I don't.
I
I
don't,
don't.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember that.
I don't get how the person that calls him RG Screen is advocating for RG3's processing
He's all
now.
over the place.
Well,
No,
we'd have
I
to,
know
we'd
what
have to go
people
back
were
to
saying at the
2011.
time. EB would tell you. I
Nobody-
remember having arguments on the show, and he
Nobody
said
back
he
in the
can
day
do
was
everything
saying-
Andrew Luck can
nobody
do.
was saying it's close between RG3 and Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was unquestioned the number 1 overall pick. Nobody
All right, but we're not comparing
It wasn't even
them.
close.
All right, but we're not comparing those two. We're comparing RG3 to
Understood.
Daniels.
I just that's some revisionist history coming.
I
over
mean,
there.
we have no idea. There could have been guys back in 2012 saying RG3's processing is great. We have no idea. It was 12 years ago.
All I know is Kyle and Mike didn't think it. I had no
Okay.
idea it was an issue.
Eye
I
of the beholder.
had no idea.
Eye of the beholder.
Those guys right away said, "No, you can't do this. You have to read half the field, and we're going to utilize your ability to run, and we're going to make this work right away."
They came up with a gimmicky, effective offense
for
that
him.
worked.
And
They
then,
catered it to
and it
him.
all fell apart for 100 reasons.
Yeah.
But I think with Jayden, I do think that the guys that are breaking down the film, and even Peters alluded to it, Peter said, even on just watching the tape, you could see him go from read 1 to read 2 to read 3, throw it on time. I don't know that they were saying that about
I'm
Robert.
going to trust Adam Peters breaking down the film over a guy calling in from Waldorf breaking down Jayden Daniels watching a few highlight clips.
All right, but hold on. Let's
Personally.
be fair. We're asking people if they like the pick, and then if they
Understood.
don't like the pick, we're
Understood.
killing them. I mean,
but like the guy
come
comes
on.
up, the first caller comes on
I'm
and
not
says he's
killing anybody.
burying Adam Peters and Daniels before he's even taken a snap in the
I'm not
pros.
killing
yeah, he's just
anybody.
giving you his reasoning. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he's correct, and I don't believe it's because Adam Peters was listening to Adam Schefter and said,
I'm
we got to go
killing
with
that.
Daniels.
That's what I'm killing.
Yeah, but I mean, not everybody loves it.
Yeah.
All right, it's not going to be unanimous.